Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for February 28, 2024. And in the news this afternoon, authority under fire as election results remain uncertain. Director defends handling of polls. The Electoral Office of Jamaica is facing criticisms over its delivery of the results of Monday's local government elections, which left the country without definitive answers on which of the two major political parties had won. They need to give an account, public commentator Carl Narcisse said on Tuesday in the aftermath of the local polls. Narcisse said that the EOJ has a duty and responsibility to the public to deliver a post-mortem assessment of Monday's operations when compared to previous years. They need to explain why the recount has to take more than 24 hours in the context of a low voter turnout. What more capacity are they needing so that their performance, their turnaround time can improve even more, she questioned, noting to that the EOJ must explain and apologize for the exclusion of citizens' action for free and fair elections during counting in some divisions. The Election Observer Group reported that it was booted from some counting centers against the customary protocol which allowed them to keep watch on the process. Both the governing Jamaica Labour Party and the opposition People's National Party claimed a victory on Monday night, with Prime Minister Andrew Holness asserting that his party had won at least 7 of the 13 municipal corporations to the PNP's 4, while noting that 2 were tied. Opposition leader Mark Golding also claimed a victory, declaring that the PNP had won most of the divisions. On Tuesday, General Secretary of the PNP, Dr. Dayton Campbell, told the news that it raised at least 2 concerns with the EOJ about the denial of persons to vote, although they reportedly presented an identification card. He said that in these instances, the voters showed up at respective polling divisions at which they had voted over the years, but they were told that their names were on another list in a different division at a constituency. They are not from there. They have never been there, so that is something that requires investigation, said Campbell. Further, he pointed to the EOJ's preliminary count, which showed that the PNP won St. Mary, but it was later reported that the JLP had won. I am not sure how. I am also concerned as to why it is being reported that councils are now tied. You have several amount of divisions, but the final result cannot be a tie. It is clear that if there is a tie in having the same number of divisions, you use the majority vote to determine the winner, Campbell told the news. Former PNP General Secretary Senator Peter Bunting said while he believes that the population maintains a confidence in the managers of the country's electoral system and the process, there are concerns that the latest polls were not run in the most efficient manner. When you have a good system, you can't take it for granted. You have to be constantly fine-tuning and updating it, especially the reporting. It seems to have deteriorated this time around, both for the special electors and for Monday, Bunting said. He offered that the EOJ examine the system and determine ways it can improve it. But the EOJ has maintained that its team was efficient, although acknowledging that there were some glitches. We worked very hard for things to run smoothly, Director of Elections Glasspool Brown told the news in countering the assessment. He said where issues surfaced, they were addressed promptly. Brown said it was not a fair criticism to note that the final results would not be delivered within 24 hours after the election. The preliminary results were delivered the same night. There's another phase, and it has always happened in elections. There has never been a time that within 24 hours it was completed in terms of the recount, he said. Brown said counting should conclude later today. Without being definitive, he said that the preliminary has given a good indication as to the winner, but cautioned that in a close election, anything can change. Attempts by the news on Tuesday to reach a JLP General Secretary, Dr. Harris Chang, were unsuccessful. However, he told the Radio Jamaica's Beyond the Headlines host Dion Jackson Miller that he had no major concerns with the process on Monday. He said that it demonstrated that Jamaica has a good electoral system, which gives credit to the democracy of the country and the people who manage the system. Witness admits a failure in identifying alleged shooter in Collymore trial. A security guard who identified one of the shooters in the murder of businesswoman Simone Campbell Collymore on Tuesday admitted that he was mistaken. The witness, after seeing still images from a recording of the shooting, indicated that the man in question only resembled the shooter. According to him, he was never shown still images of the recording before. The guard, who had been on duty at the Forest Ridge apartment complex in Red Hill, St. Andrew, the night before the shooting, had named the co-defendant Dwayne Pink as one of the shooters who he saw in the recording of the incident. The woman's husband, Omar Collymore, Pink, Michael Adams, and Shaquille Edwards are currently on trial for the double murder. The 32-year-old businesswoman and her taxi driver, 36-year-old Winston Walters, were killed outside her gate on January 2 when two men sprayed the vehicle with bullets close to 4 p.m. The witness had previously testified during the trial in the Home Circuit Court that about 3 a.m. on January 2, 2018, he was patrolling the complex when he saw a man sleeping in a car on the compound, which raised his suspicion. He testified that he later saw the man leaving the car and knocking on the apartment door of the now deceased woman's husband before entering the premises. According to the witness, after the woman's murder, he recognized one of the shooters as being the same man whom he had seen on the compound in the car. He described the man as having tattoos on his lower hands and sporting locks, as well as having a bleached appearance. He also remembered that the shooter was wearing the same clothes that he had seen the man in the car wearing earlier. During his testimony, when asked if he saw the man in court, he had pointed out Pink, who also sports locks. But during his evidence on Tuesday, after being shown the video as well as still images, said he did not recognize the man whom he had earlier identified in an identification parade. The witness also testified that when he saw the man in the car, he later checked his logbook and saw that the car had visited the premises before to see Collymore. However, during cross-examination, Collymore's lawyer, Diane Jobson, questioned him about the lack of entry for the car in which he had supposedly seen Pink. However, the witness did not answer the question as the prosecutor had objected. Jobson then highlighted that the only entry she had seen in the book with respect to that car was on January 1, which arrived at 1:20 p.m. and left at 3:44 p.m. Quizzed further about the missing entry for the car in question, the witness indicated that there were only two, one on December 31 and another on New Year's Day. Under further cross-examination, the guard denied a suggestion that the car was never seen on the compound in the parking lot that day. However, while being grilled by Pink's lawyer, Ernest Davis, about the said missing entry, he explained that it was a result of negligence. He explained that because of familiarity, some security guards sometimes failed to log entries and exits. The trial continues today. Government ministers' visits made no difference. Despite several visits from three ministers of government, Desmond McKenzie, Everald Warmington, and Matthew Samuda, as well as the two visits from Prime Minister Andrew Holness to the parish over the last month, the people of Hanover voted resoundingly for the People's National Party in Monday's local government elections. The overwhelming support resulted in that party winning 6 of the 7 Hanover Municipal Corporation seats in the parish, according to preliminary counts. The PNP won 2 of the 3 seats in Hanover Eastern and all 4 seats in Hanover Western, with the biggest win margin being achieved by incumbent councillor in the Sandy Bay Division and the Deputy Mayor of Lucy, Andrea Duhaney Grant. The seat won by the Jamaica Labour Party was that in the Chester Castle Division, which was contested between retired educator Kadeen Miles for the JLP and the PNP's Winter McIntosh, who was the Mayor of Lucy from 2014 to 2016. While the 6 seats won by the PNP were won by margins of between 43 and more than 1,100 votes, the sole JLP win was by 17 votes, according to the preliminary count. The Electoral Office of Jamaica is estimating that only an average voter turnout of about 29% participated in the elections island-wide, but in Hanover, that average turnout is even lower than in other areas. Checks made by the news have revealed that the residents of the parish had several grouses which stimulated their voting patterns, including bad road conditions and the lack of potable water topping the list. On his recent visit to the parish a few days before the election, Holness acknowledged that he was aware of those concerns which topped the list of the people, while promising that remedies will be embarked on soon. I have to be doing constant repairs on my motor vehicle to keep it in proper condition, to carry passengers, and also to make sure the examiner does not take off my license plate while I am working my route, said one public passenger vehicle operator who runs the Lucy to Negril route and who did not want his name disclosed. He said that the bad road conditions have made it almost impossible, hampering him in properly maintaining his family and surviving economically. Doheny Grant, who won her seat in the Sandy Bay division in Hanover Eastern by 1,000 votes, noted that the road conditions across her division are deplorable and the cry for potable water in some parts of her division is unbearable. I will continue to help all the people within the division and beyond, and I will continue to be their standard bearer to ensure that they have access to commodities that are basic human needs and to make sure that the Sandy Bay division continues to stand out, she told the news following her victory. Marvel Sewell, the incumbent councillor for the Green Island division in Hanover Western, who won his seat by more than 900 votes, told the news he was not surprised by the margin of his win, as he has been representing the people of the division to the best of his ability, and he is of the opinion that they realize it. I really want to concentrate on the roads and water situation around the division, because it is surprising to note that we have the Logwood water treatment plant in this division, and yet a lot of the communities in this division do not have running water on a regular basis, he stated. He said that with the imminent arrival of the Princess Hotel in the Green Island area, he plans to make the reintroduction of the fruits and the vegetables market in that area a priority on his list, with a view of putting the farmers of the area in direct touch with the tourism entrepreneurs. He made a mention of his continued lobby for the Green Island to Negril Main Road to be properly lit with streetlights as one of the projects which he plans to pay much attention to during his second term in the HMC.